from a person who had zero friends. I swear to God, my life changed. And it's such a simple thing. The anxiety, the overthinking, the creeping doubts. When I have friends, you know what I mean? What? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Katya Karat, and today we are going to be talking about many different things, as usual. So today I would love to put a little bit of my opinion into the topic of making friends. And today's video is going to be about how to make friends. So this whole idea came to me when I was thinking in general about how my friendship experience has changed, and I feel like I have successfully made some friends that will be in my life for a long time. Like, I think it will be. And, like, it's my long-term friends, and it's not just for a couple of years, even, like, potentially lifetime friends. Like, I know, like, taking it too far, but, like, I think I've made them. And that is coming from a person who had zero friends. Swear to God, guys. Like, I considered I had zero friends. Like, 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago, I had zero friends. So how did this change happen? And like right now, I have like long-term, good, potentially lifetime friends. Not even one, like a couple of them. What? I think it's crazy, and I think it's also important to share what changed and what did I learn to do that? Because honestly, the changes that I've done to have such a drastic, alteration in my friendship area of life were so fucking simple, and no one ever told me about them, and I had to learn them the hard way. Because honestly, if you're in your down bad situation when you have zero friends and you have no idea how to even start making them, the advice that you're gonna find online sucks big time. It doesn't help you at all. At least like it didn't help. Like, it didn't help at all. Because if you Google like how to make friends, the most popular book that's gonna pop up is like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And like, first of all, the wording, like the name of the book is disgusting, because how to win friends and influence people. Honestly, okay, listen, this book is good for the own sake, but you have to understand this is not the book on how to make friends, how to have actual genuine connection friendships. It's to how to win friends. If you want to be the guy or the girl who has the most friends in school or the most friends in any environment, and you just want to win friends, then read that book. But honestly, if you want to have actual genuine friendships, people who care about you and love you, and you also care about them and love them, that book is not going to help you, okay? That book is not going to help you, and it sucks big time. And that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to have a bunch of fake friends. I wanted to have actual real friendships, and I didn't know how to do that. So, guys, today I'll give you all of my wisdom that I've learned over the course of the last couple of years to change my life so much. And I'm actually, I think, one of the most important, or maybe even the most important part of my life that has changed and made me happier than I was before is having friends. Having friends is super important. And like, I don't even know how I lived before. So guys, listen up, sit down, and I'm going to tell you a step-by-step plan on how to make it happen. If right now you are literally in a pity hole of having zero friends and having no idea how to talk to anyone, how to even like start a connection, how do you even begin? You know what I mean? Let's begin. So the first thing that I feel like a very important reason for why at least I could not make friendships before was that because I was scared of people, and therefore I did not talk to people. I genuinely thought that people are scary as fuck. Like, I thought that people are smart. Like, I thought that people are, how do I say this? They think about me. First of all, that's obviously like a stupid thing. No one thinks about you. Calm down. No one cares. But also, I thought that people will notice things about me and like make conclusions based on that. And then they're going to treat me a bad way. And I don't want that. So that's why I was scared of them, in a sense. I don't even know like why I was so scared of people. Genuinely was so scared of people. I think maybe it was like based on some past experiences, or when you are at school, when you're a little child, your life expectancy depends on your friendship situation, genuinely, because like I was so scared to become a victim of bullying when I was at school that I literally did my best to be like the most just normal human being so that no one would think of me badly. And so I would become the victim of bullying because I knew that I could not like protect myself from that. And so what happened is that I just ended up being a huge people pleaser. And I was super scared of people because I thought they were going to start bullying me like everyone. Like, no one cares. Like, after middle school, no one even cares about this shit. But anyway, it's hard out there when you are scared of people. So you need to, there's only one way to get rid of this fear. And we all know what are the ways to get rid of the fear is to do the thing that you're scared of. So when you are scared of talking to people, all you need to do is talk to people. And that is like hard. Like, that is hard because when you have zero friends, zero connections, and zero interest in even trying, because you like, I feel like a huge thing when when I like was in that problem and I was Googling like how do I make friends, how do I like change the situation, it was like make it interesting for the person to talk to you. Okay, there's a whole advice on, especially the Dale Carnegie's book, on how to make not yourself interesting, but like how to have a conversation that's going to be interesting. So make the person feel like they're interesting and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like the problem when you have zero friends is not that you don't find, it's not that the other person can't find you interesting, although this may be a problem. But I feel like one of the main reasons, and it's the first reason, is that you don't even find talking to people interesting because A, you're scared of them, and B, you lack the tools to make the conversation interesting. You lack the tools to kind of like make the conversations flow. And therefore, all the conversations end up being disgusting and like awkward and all that and embarrassing. And then you just never want to talk to anyone again. And that's why you never make friends, because you never go past the, talking stage, basically. So, the first thing you need to do is you need to start talking to people. And I know it is impossible. Like, you feel like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because it's disgusting. I'm scared of people, all that. But here's what it's going to give you. I don't think you're going to make friends on this stage when you can just start talking to people, because our point here is not to make friends, okay? Right now, when you don't even have the ability to talk to people, all you need to do is literally try. Literally just talk to anyone. Go to a place where you know there will be people who have the same interest as you have, and talk to anyone. Don't go to a fucking party where people drink if you don't like partying and you don't like drinking, okay? Go to a place where people will like what you like and then talk to those people because you already have a similar topic. So, for example, for me, I really love Taylor Swift. So I went to a lot of Taylor Swift parties. Like, I went to a lot of them. And every single time I would go out from there having 2 or 3 more connections or like, potential friends. And I'm still talking to these people to this day. And like, that's crazy to me because I went to those parties when I had no friends at all. And like, I was not able to make connections. But then when I had the same thing to talk about, and it was like such a passion of mine and the passion of the other person, it was so easy to connect. So, and I didn't need additional skills to like make the conversations go. And I didn't need additional skills to like, do we have anything in common? What is that we can talk about? Because literally it's on the surface. So you guys, this is my advice for you. Go somewhere where you know the person will be interested in the same thing as you are. Besides like the tip parties or whatever, it could be like book clubs, huge thing. Because me, as an introvert, right, I love listening to music and reading books. Guys, go to the book clubs. It's an amazing place to make new connections, make friends. What else? Go to like some art things like art therapy or I don't know, like making things together. Awesome. Okay? So, and once you do that a couple times it'll be fucking gross and embarrassing. Like you'll talk to someone and the person will literally have zero interest in talking to you, and you're gonna feel like you are a piece of shit because that person will make you feel like it. But it's okay. It's on them. Like, it doesn't mean anything about you, really. Maybe that person just had a shitty day, okay? You just need to be doing this as much as possible so that you would learn eventually. You would rewire your brain to think, oh, people are not scary. People are not scary. People are not going to kill you. People are not going to bully you. Actually, people don't care. People don't care. Okay? And that's the biggest blessing, because now that you know that the majority of people don't care about you, you can make friends who will care about you. And they will be good people if you follow my steps in my program. Okay, so first thing, get rid of the fear. Talk to people and get embarrassed. Now, the second step is when you've got all of these friends, like, not like okay, you have gone to these different places and you have some of the people that you've met and you are there in your Instagram or whatever. And you're like, okay, how do I make them friends of me now? Like, how do I get closer, right? Now, you probably cannot talk to people right now. And that is because you have no idea how to make a conversation flow. Now, let me tell you, when I learned that, I swear to God, my life changed. My life changed. And it's such a simple thing. But when I learned that, I was like, whoa, I was living in delusion my entire life because I thought I was like a bad conversation person. Like I just don't know how to talk to anyone. But really, I just didn't know this one thing. And after that, I swear everyone started to tell me like, oh, you're so good at conversations. It was so fun to talk to you. And I'm like, no shit. Okay, guys. So, well, this one I actually heard online, but it's a question and answer technique. So basically, when you talk to someone, there is only two options that you can have. You either ask a question about the other person, or you tell something about yourself. This is like the simplest conversation ever. We're talking about like you meet them the second, the third time. This is the simple formula for a conversation. Now, when you talk to someone, there are different types of people. There are people who really, really like to talk about themselves and they never ask questions. And there are people who literally will ask you a billion questions and they will only rarely, like once or twice, say something about themselves. Now, because of that, if you are talking to a person who has this sort of imbalance, you also probably have a tendency to either be a listener or like a talker, right? What happens is that there creates kind of like an imbalance is created in the conversation when the one person talks about themselves too much or the other person doesn't talk too much. Okay, so you have actually the ability to take control of the situation with this technique and make any conversation beautiful, right? So imagine you are talking to a person and you just have a natural conversation like, oh, like, where are you from? Okay, I'm from here. And then you go on and ask different questions. And when the person, while you're talking, you can notice whether the person kind of like starts talking about themselves for just no reason, just like, oh, I am that, and like tells a fact about themselves, or they just constantly ask you questions to what you say. Then you understand that person is a listener and they ask you questions and they will never tell anything about themselves. So what you need to do, you need to ask them back, okay? Like, ask them back what they asked you. You don't even need to think about the questions. Just, they ask you like, oh, I don't know, what did you do last year? And you're like, oh, I did this. And what did you do? That's it. And this way you can find like a balance. And if you feel like now you are asking too many questions and they don't ask you any questions back for some reason, like you were talking and the person just loves to listen to you, or they just love to talk about themselves too, but they never ask you the question back, it's okay. Just tell them. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, so the person asks you, where did you go last year? Like, oh, I went to Italy. It was fun. Where have you been besides Italy? And the person is like, oh, I've been to like this country. Silence. They don't ask you back, where have you been, right? And you feel awkward. You're like, why don't you ask me back? Forget that. Forget the awkwardness. Just answer the question yourself without being asked, because it's okay, actually. And so you're just like, oh, well, that's cool. Me, actually, I've been through this. And that person is actually going to be grateful because that person probably just like, I don't know, they're not prone to asking questions. They're prone to talking about themselves. It doesn't even mean that they're like, I don't know, infantile or they're too obsessed with themselves. Maybe just like lack conversation skills. So guys, I beg of you, if you right now feel like you are not a good conversation person, next time you talk to someone, try this technique and see how easy it becomes to make any conversation flow. With a lot of people, you don't need to think about that because a lot of people are just naturally really good conversation people, genuinely. And they pop jokes like this and they literally are so funny and amazing. And you don't need to think about that. But sometimes, and I feel like most of the people are also awkward and they're scared of you and they're also like embarrassed and they don't know what to say. And they will, especially like if you're the kind of person right now, you'll probably attract people like this because we attract who we are. And so I feel like once I learned that technique, that gave me so much power and like assurance that I know what to do when I talk to people. I just realized I just use this technique and everything will be beautiful and amazing, okay? Now, it doesn't guarantee that you will become friends with that person, but it guarantees that you will have a good conversation and you will end up feeling good about yourself after conversation. And that person will probably feel really good about you and about themselves too, because they will feel like, oh my God, I just had such a good conversation. Whereas you just made it all work because genuinely, yes, sometimes I remember talking to some people and I was like, oh my God, that is all my fucking work right now because you can't talk shit. Like you literally, I need to like guide our conversation the whole time because if I didn't do that, we would just sit there in awkward silence for the whole time being. So like that's kind of crazy. Anyway, so that's my second advice to you guys. Try this technique. Maybe it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work. It's awesome. Okay. Now the next thing that is huge is when you start talking to a lot of people, the anxiety, the overthinking, the creeping doubts start creeping in your brain when you are in a bad mental spot, right? And usually you don't have friends when you're in a bad mental spot. So this is the thing you really need to know when you talk to someone, when you start making friends, whatever. The first thing you talk to someone, right? And you need to think like, oh, whether I like that person or not, whether I even want to be their friend. And if you think, yes, they're cool, kind of like they seem nice, I want to get to know them. The next thing that your brain goes to is like, do they even like me, right? And then you start having anxiety and overthinking and insecurity. Oh, they actually fucking hate me. Gotcha. I actually gotcha. Because they actually don't, awkward silence? They hate me. They think I'm ugly. Like, oh, awkward silence? They actually think I'm the most boring person alive. Like, yeah. Overthinking, anxiety, bullshit in your head. I had that. So, one thing that has immensely helped me to overcome that is literally just indoctrinating myself with a notion, with an idea that unless something has been told to me directly, don't take it personally. Don't ever take anything personally, guys. Because I guarantee to you, 99.999% of the time, it is not personal. That person just had a bad day. That person just got a bad news. That person just don't like how they feel today. Literally, it's never personal. Because sometimes somebody can call you a fucking ugly bitch and it's not even going to be personal because they just had a bad day. But I mean, okay, probably in that case, still don't talk to them because they are rude and what is that? I'm like, but anyway, guys, I feel like a lot of the times in my life, I used to assume when people didn't respect me or didn't were super excited to talk to me or whatever, I was like, they think I'm a bad person. Oh no. First of all, it doesn't matter. But second of all, probably 99%, they didn't give a fuck about me actually in that point. They were thinking about their own problems because nobody cares about you. Everybody thinks about themselves. Okay? Everybody has their own issues in life and they need to take care of themselves. And that's okay. Because you can't care about everyone. You need to care of yourself. That's just life. Because it's a whole, like you are you and you need to take care of yourself. So, guys, I just beg of you to indoctrinate yourself with this belief. Unless something has been told to you directly, it is not about you. Don't take it personally. Literally just let it go. Don't think about it. Don't even think about it. And especially when I have this thing sometimes, which I call intuition, but sometimes it's overthinking, right? And that's when I start feeling like, oh, maybe that person doesn't really like me, or maybe I did something and now that person acts a little bit differently towards me. Like, I don't know, I have this gut feeling that something's off. There's a fine line. If there's a gut feeling that something's off and with your long-term friend or I don't know, partner or something, then maybe it is right because you know them very well. Okay. And you're probably correct. But when it comes to a stranger, when it comes to a person you literally just met, and you have a gut feeling that they don't like you or a gut feeling that they think something about you, you're probably wrong because that person doesn't care about you, okay? Calm the fuck down. Really, they don't. And the honest truth is that probably, it's about them. And unless they directly tell you something like, I don't like what you do. I don't like you. I don't like how you look. I don't know. You boring. You suck. Don't talk to me. Unless they told you these things, then everything is just in your head and it's probably a lie, okay? But if the person tells you these things, no, okay, maybe don't talk to them. But sometimes people are struggling to tell directly that they don't want to be your friend because like they don't want to be rude or whatever. A lot of people are really nice, just like you, and they will not tell you directly that they don't really like you. So of course, like you shouldn't just completely disregard all the signs because sometimes people will give you hints on like get the fuck away from me. But most of the time, it's really just in your head. I feel like I'm saying, like the times when it really was the correct version of when I have interpreted these events were like once or twice. Most of the time, it was just in my head. No one actually cared about me. Literally, no. Like it was like sometimes I would think for months someone like thinks A about me, and that's why they act a certain way. And then I would learn something like actually like their dog died or something, or like they just had like a really bad month, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like that was never about me. That was literally never about me. So guys, calm the fuck down. Nothing is ever about you most of the time. And I know like it's hard to accept, but it's not about you really. But it's great because literally those people, they don't hate you. Trust me, they don't hate you. They just had a bad day. Don't take anything personally unless it was directly given to you, directly told you. And life will be life will be awesome, okay? And the last point I have is a little bit not contradictory, like it's kind of like controversial, I would say. It's kind of controversial. But I think it really helped me mentally to make friends. Like that was, for me, game changer. Also game changer. Everything I give to you today, game changers, you guys. That was the last point that I did that really like allowed me to be my most authentic, real self around people. And this is the first thing you need to do to make actual real friends, because the more authentic you are and the more real you are around others, the more real friendships you're going to make and the more connections you're going to make. And the more, like, the better you're going to feel, the happier you're going to feel about yourself and about your friendships in life. So you really need to be authentic, you guys. And it's hard because as a person who, when I was like in my fear mode, in my insecure mode, in my depressive era, I could not do that for life. I was like, no, never in my entire life will I ever be myself. Are you fucking crazy? If someone doesn't like me, then what am I going to do? Change myself? Again, like when you're insecure, it's hard. Guys, once you become okay with who you are and you tell yourself you're going to be who you are no matter what anybody thinks about you, and you're just like, okay, this is who I am. Let it be. And let's assume now you're stage 4. When you have some sort of like semi-friends or whatever, you have a bunch of acquaintances and you want to get like really close with people. You want to start making actual real friendships and like besties for life and like groups of friends and like really become a part of a friend group. You don't just want to have like a bunch of acquaintances, right? You want to have like an actual good friendship group. You want to have like friends, you know what I mean? That's what's going to help you guys. That is when you become your most authentic self. And that is how you do it. At least that's how it helped me. That's what helped me. You have to assume that everybody likes you. Listen, as an insecure person, the reason why you are scared of being yourself around others is because you think that people will dislike you. Okay? But the truth is, some people will like you, some people will dislike you. It's not like everyone will like you. Like, no. Some people will dislike you and some people will not like who you are. But that's okay. You're not a fucking $100 to be liked by everyone. Okay? So, how do you handle that? I feel like it's almost impossible to rewire your brain into not caring that someone will dislike you, because literally by human nature, we care about that stuff. By human nature, if someone doesn't like us, we feel in danger. We're like, oh no, am I going to be kicked out of the fucking tribe because someone has an evil eye for me? I need to make them feel better about myself, because what if they're gonna, put someone against me, and then what's gonna happen with me? Am I gonna be in fucking danger? It's like danger response in your brain. So trying to convince yourself that someone disliking you doesn't matter is like hella crazy and almost impossible. Like, even if you know it in your brain, like you rationally understand that, emotionally do not care about it is almost impossible, because literally it's our human nature. If someone doesn't like us, we're like, why? You know what I mean? So instead of trying to convince yourself with that, you need to convince yourself that everybody likes you. Just assume that everybody likes you. Every single person you meet, it's a stranger on the street, every person in your class, everybody likes you. Everybody thinks you're funny, awesome, amazing, and fantastic. Now, is it true? Probably not. But it doesn't matter, because this is not the point of our experience right now. What you need is to just assume that everybody likes you, and that's going to give you freedom to be who you are, right? Because if the person likes you, they like you for who you are. They like to be around you. They like to talk to you. They like to be a friend. They think you're funny. They think you're amazing. And this is like a self-fulfilled prophecy happening, right? Because when you assume that everybody likes you, it's not that people will like you, although it is possible that more people are gonna like you because you will be more open, you're gonna be freer, you're gonna be more confident, and people love those kind of people, right? But then also you're going to attract people that will actually like you for who you are because you're gonna show more of who you are, and that's going to make you a person with more friends and quality connections, okay, guys? So, because the more you show who you are, the more likely you are to attract people who are just like you and become friends with them. Okay? But that's only possible if you are not scared of being who you are around others, right? And you need to go through all the steps that I've just talked to you through because they're crucial. They're crucial for your change. So, yeah, for me, I just like stopped trying to convince myself that I don't care about others because I do care about other people's opinions about me. It's just the case. I still have some insecurities inside of me and I'm still like working through it. But assuming everybody likes me has given me so much strength and power because I just started acting like myself instead of trying to please everyone. And then I realized people actually do like me for who I am more than for who I am pretending to be. And that was like a shock to me because I genuinely, even the people that I thought and I assumed don't like me before, actually wanted to be my friend now that I've started to act like myself and just assume that they like me by default. What? I would never believe this would happen. But it happened. Okay, guys, and I mean the point of this is not to actually have everyone love you. It's to attract the people that will be your people and will care for you, will value you, and you will care for them and value them too. So, you guys, I think that's it. I right now, if you're in a bad mood, if you're in a bad spot, if you are just like not it, you have zero friends right now. Maybe I was in your situation. I was in my second year in university, thinking that it is actually the end for me. It's actually like it will be over at some point because I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to get out of my head, and I was talking to myself even when I was talking to others. It was hard. It was hard because when you have to fight your own brain, you cannot really make friends because you're a fucking enemy to yourself. So guys, I mean, it can be just like a really deep-rooted issue if you are an enemy to yourself. You need to start there. But like for that, with my other videos, I have videos about that. Like stop and define with your thoughts, for example, amazing video about that topic. Anyway, but yeah, I think everything is in your hands and it is possible. Trust me, if 2 years ago someone would tell me like I would finally get everything I wanted in terms of my social life, in terms of my friendships, in terms of my experiences, I would be like, no shit, no way. Like, how did I do it? Please give me the fucking rule book. Here's the rule book, and I hope it's going to be helpful. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to follow my channel, listen to my podcast, everything with Katya Karat, and of course stream my songs because I'm also an artist, and I have a lot of music out there on all different platforms. So yeah, tune in. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, week, month, year, or preferably the whole life.